Hey fellas, after much delay, here's my spoiler review of the live action take on Disney's Mulan. Been wanting to cover this film for a while, so let's open it up. Please bear in mind I might not say what you think of on some parts. That will bring up the original, all, when relevant. My praise or criticism I have for this film will be self contained for the most part, so let's get started. The film distinguished itself from its senior right away with an opening prologue of young Hua Mulan, played by Crystal Rao, and her father Hua Zhou, played by Zima, that his dark story has been told many times over the ages. So, the film itself acknowledges this story's legacy, from a heroine who met a dark fate in the original legend to lovable misfit in the 1998 anime film. Though I do like the prologue overall, the Phoenix and mentions of Chi are admittedly pretty heavy on the foreshadowing. Still, director Nikki Caro, previous directed had both Whale Rider and North Country as a good fit of the story as someone who enjoyed both those films. This one also deals with similar themes to them. Our proper opening sees a Silk Road invasion by the Roran army led by Bori Khan, played by Jason Scott Lee, seeking to avenge the death of his father. The legend often has different people leading the invaders. He essentially fills the same role as Shan Yu in the original film. So allies himself with the shape-shifting witch Jianing, played by Gong Li, the Emperor, played by veteran martial arts actor Jet Li, sends out the cold arms to defend their homeland. Of course, Bori Khan's undeterred by the Imperial Army as is Jianing. Before I continue, the cinematography of this film is quite impressive. Mandy Walker makes fantastic use of letterbox format in this movie. I'm looking forward to 4K release of this and the original. Carl also teams with her editor David Coulson, who's worked well before. It's also spectacular production design by Grant Major, who's a frequent collaborator with Peter Jackson. We are then reintroduced to Mulan, played by Yifei Liu, who is due to see the matchmaker played in this film by Jane Pei Balon's sister Hua Zhu, who played by Lisanna Tang. There's no cricket in this film. Thanks to a spider getting into the tea and spooking the matchmaker and Jew, it doesn't go as planned. Based on what's about to happen, maybe it's another form of the witch, but that's just my headcanon. I will say that Hayrickson Williams has done a good job of taking the reins of music from late Jerry Goldsmith, adapting the original songs into his score. Also like the costume design by Bina Daigella, who's done extensive costume design both film and TV. The call to arms arrives, demanding that one man with a family defend China. However, given Hua Zhou's age and game leg, Mulan takes to the fight in his stead under the alias Hua Jun. The decision is much more subtle than in this version, as it's a prayer to the ancestors who watch over Mulan. Again, the Phoenix symbol is a bit on point, but no, it was an exterior Dark Phoenix. Upon the arrival at the camp, we are introduced to the film's counterparts of Ling, played by Jimmy Wong, Yao, played by Chen Tang, and Xianpo, played by Dua Mua. Unique to this version are crickets, a human analog Cricky, played by Jun Yu, and they personally shang into two characters, Cheng Hongwei, played by Yo Son On, and Commander Tong, played by Donnie Yen. The latter's case, who's not trying to steal Death Star plans from Scarif, he's trying to stop Bori Kong. Most of the other crews hit the showers. Mulan's alter ego to volunteers Night Watch. The training begins the next day, and I must say, the choreography here is quite impressive. Most arts and fantasy aspects are the parts I like most about the animated film. I really like how just much they lead into that side of the story. While distinct from the musical in style and tone, some of the songs are given a nod with the lyrics being more than true banter in the makeshift canteen. The training continues, and they also come together as a unit. I must say, between how the battles are even more intense than the original, and the scene of bathing at the lake, this version definitely earns PG-13. About the same ballpark as their Star Wars and MCU content, really. Both armies continue their preparation of battle, and as the army's strength grows, Bori Khan's found a way for his true target, the Imperial City. Other garrisons are decimated, leaving Tong's army's last line of defense between the invaders. This leads to the new film's battle on the mountainside. Though not the exact same circumstance as the original, difference in presentation here does a good job standing on its own. It's not full of explosions and an avalanche of snow. It's a hail of arrows and mountains of explosive sulfur. I also like the parallel to Mulan and Johnny during their fight in the sulfur fields. Maybe it's because of art has a soft spot for the contrast like this, but this presents in a sort of reflection, namely of what Mulan could have become if she never had someone who cared for her. Also, once again, I get the feeling that mention of Chi will be important later. Mulan is hit with one of Jiang's daggers, but she's already as she sees a phoenix in the mountains. She will defend her allies in battle and eliminate most of the invaders by igniting the sulfur in the mountains at the cost of outing herself. I do kind of like this part of faking enemy out with discarded helmets. Mulan's expelled from impersonating a soldier, but Boycon's still alive, as is Jiang. Now, Tang is initially more willing to have Mulan executed as a traitor. His unit does agree to help defend the Emperor once he realizes what's happening. Not quite how it's portrayed in the anime film, it works a different way, as they've basically exhausted all the options they have. So, under the wings of the Phoenix, the battle begins in Pure City. Visually, this whole finale is quite spectacular. While I still love the finale of the original film, I can argue this one works a different way. Jiang kills the Emperor's council to get close to the Emperor. The original music is great in the sequence. Boycon traps the Emperor inside a scaffold, and as a force engaged Boycon soldiers, Mulan must now face both Xiaoning and Boycon. Mulan finds Jiang first, and once again, I like the contrast between the two characters. There's also a visually impressive finale as if it get used to the letterbox format. Boycon wants to burn the Emperor to death to avenge his father. I can see why this version is PG-13. Boycon kills Jiang and now comes upon a battle between him and Mulan. Not presented the exact same way as the original film, the fight between the two works for the simplicity of the setup. Face to face, eye to eye, hand to hand. While the Phoenix beside her, despite losing her weapon, Mulan lowers Boycon onto a girder, sending him falling down with his own sword. She also sets about freeing the Emperor, and when Boycon tries to shoot an arrow at her, she knocks it back into his chest, killing him. My associate Kodak tweeted that she's essentially a Jedi and Pokemon Master, maybe also a Z Warrior, given how much they're talking about Chi in this version. Once again, it's a far better live action Dragon Ball movie than the actual one. As Mulan is honored, we even get a cameo from her counterpart in the anime film Na Wen introducing her. So, we close Mulan returning home, being brought onto her family, and is even granted a position in the Emperor's Guard, much to the shock of the matchmaker. There's also a potential sequel hook as her family sword has been reforged in Jade, and an arrangement of Reflection by fellow nice icon Christina Aguilera. There's so much else been said about this movie, but I better wrap this up. It's been a long, strange journey since I first planned to address this movie, and now that I've finally gotten the chance to, I honestly say that I liked it. It may not be the best live action version I've seen so far, but it's definitely not the worst either. Though at times stories pretty on the nose, it is a unique version of Legend, and the film is visually stunning, especially in terms of fight scenes. As live action versions go, personally, Dragon Ball Evolution, The Live Action Ghost in the Shell, and The Last Airbender a lot worse. I've seen far worse ways to spend 115 minutes, so the film itself was solid overall, and considering everything else going on this year. My final rating is 3 out of 4. I will deal with the change distribution as they come. In relation to the upcoming Soul, Wonder Woman 1984, and the bulk of WB's a slate next year. I'll have my next Mandalorian vlog out to tomorrow. Also, my first impression Cyberpunk 2077, I spend more time with it. That will be all for now. Later.